In the meantime, let me know in the comments or in the chat if you're a beginner or if you already have a store. Are you like a very beginner, meaning you don't even have like any business at all and you're just trying to get started with Shopify? Or do you already have something up and you're just not happy with it? Or you maybe just like a full-on like big seller already looking just to scale? Yeah, put it in there. I'm excited. The mission for this is mainly an introduction. And I don't know if you guys watched the Shopify editions they recently came out with. Everything is evolving really, really fast. It's very, very exciting to be part of Shopify right now. It's like I know there's still WooCommerce is doing great, like the Wixes, the Squarespaces, everyone's building, but Shopify has the lead, had the lead, but now with the new features, it's actually going to be incredible. So if you guys now making the jump to Shopify, this is the perfect timing. Carmen says she already has a store, but looking for improvement. Perfect. I think this is what we're going to cover a little bit today is just like the architecture of a good store. Obviously getting you guys familiarized with the dashboard itself. And yeah, and that's something we're going to do more often now. We're excited to have you. It's like Fran is not joining me today. Like she is the founder of Hazel Studios, also my wife, but she eventually got started with all of this. And now we're pivoting into education because we realized we run this agency and it's doing really well. It's like we got forced into it. Just to give you like the quick introduction, it's like we used to run our own e-commerce business for like a very long time. It's like now with Shopify for over 10 years almost. And especially over COVID, it's like we invested in a German e-commerce business, scaled it. Or back then it wasn't e-commerce. We added the e-commerce portion, scaled it incredibly, and people basically started reaching out to us saying, can we help them? Especially through pandemics, like everyone wanted to make the jump online, which was important before, even more so, even more important then. Yeah, people just had a lot of questions and eventually realized, hey, maybe we should do this full time. Then Fran was first. She started this business, Hazel Studios. We basically never had a plan for it. We just wanted to build great online stores, and all of a sudden, yeah, we had so much demand. We had to hire a large team now. It's like now I'm now in Florida with her, and we're opening our second business or a second office. The other one is in New York. The rest of the team is still in New York. And yeah, we have so much demand now that we're basically trying to just keep up with all of that. But the more clients we work with now, we also realize there's just a huge lack of education out there. And at first, we just thought Shopify themselves was going to cover it. We thought maybe YouTube is going to cover it. And we never really saw the improvement. And then we just realized, obviously, e-commerce is evolving super fast now and that's not even talking about AI tools or anything. Like that's just Shopify itself. You throw in Midjourney, you throw in ChatGPT, you throw in new integrations, you throw in like the new additions Shopify put out. There's just a lot to keep up with. And when we speak to small business owners especially, we just realize it feels a little bit daunting. Shopify is still promising this one-click solution. You sign up to a store, you press the button, and everything will just look the way the theme looks. And then you just do it and you see a gray box everywhere. And I think that's the main issue we want to tackle. And that's also we realized is we now work with 500 small businesses, but there's only so many we can work with. I think it's time to actually start a little bit to leaning more into education to provide you guys with all the tools you need. So you don't need people like us, any freelancers or anything else, and you can just be successful with it. Theo was saying Shopify website is being designed now. Learn how to edit and manage backend. Perfect. No, this is exactly what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to swap over and basically walk you through everything there is to know about Shopify. We had a training recently that was a little bit on the longer side. Today is going to be more on the shorter side, just basically giving you guys an intro, explaining to you why Shopify was a good choice. You can see at the very top, like they just had the summer editions, and they always introduce, if you're from the tech scene, you might know the Apple WWDC. And this is like Shopify's version of saying, hey, this is everything cool that we're working on. This is everything that's about to be released. And yeah, they released incredible stuff, but I think it's just really, really important to get the basics right if you want to scale your business. It's especially important to get the basics right because otherwise you just scale your mess as well. The good thing is it's not super complicated. I think once you know how to do it, it's very repetitive. You can absolutely you can't do a lot of things wrong once you know what you're doing. So I want to give you like a rough overview of what it is, and then also we're working on incredible courses to then go into details on everything from like shipping settings, all the taxes, everything you need to know. But hey, let's jump in, take a look through Shopify. So if you're like me, or if you're opening your browser right now too, so like there's the home tab. This is a new demo store. We used this for like a recent webinar, so I wanted to use this one so you guys don't like overwhelmed with like actual customer data. That's also something we don't want to show. But this is something we built from scratch, so it's rather new. It could look like yours if, for example, if you're saying it's being designed right now, this might be something you're looking at. You have your home, it's your dashboard, not too much going on there. There might be messages in the future. You have on the side, you have your orders, the products, customers, pretty self-explanatory, the orders. This will fill up. You can also create draft orders. But this is basically where you find everything that you need on a day-to-day basis. That's the backend. That's not necessarily the design component of it. Design and all the good stuff will be in the sales channels. And you can see we have our online store, but it's not just for online stores. Like this is, I think, what I really like about Shopify right now. It's they're evolving from just being an alternative to Squarespace, where you just have your online store. Now they're actually being it's more like for the processing, the order processing, the transaction capturing. So now you can have your online store plus, as you can see here, your point of sale, for example. This is something they've been doing for a while now, but it's also like really interesting to show is like you can have your brick and mortar store and connect it to your Shopify store. And whenever someone makes an order, it just runs into this one pipeline. Everything is being tracked as a Shopify order. And if you then have your inventory tracked, they would just deduct it automatically from your inventory. And you can also split your inventory. So if you have, you should always have like your brick and mortar inventory, and or not you should have, but if you're scaling larger, you're going to have probably your online inventory separately. So this is being tracked separately, while all the analytics, transactions, everything will run in this one dashboard. And if you connect your taxes and everything, it's going to be super streamlined. So sales channel, I'm just going to click through them. We got the online store. I'm going to talk about this in a second. This is obviously going to be the most interesting. We have the point of sales. Not everyone needs this. It's probably not even going to be here, so it's something you can click on. Then you can add your sales channels. And then Google and YouTube, and this is something that everyone should do right now. It's basically you need this to either sell through Google Shopping, but also this is now the new way to connect Google Analytics. It used to be on like some different, with some code settings, but now if you want to connect Google Analytics, which you should with they call it GA4, you would do it as part of a sales channel now. So this is potentially interesting to know when you're just trying to find how to connect to Google. It's or the analytics, it's now in the sales channel. And then everything else of I would say the dry stuff, that's really important to know, you'll find in the settings. This is like your general store settings. You see the information about your store, you see the users and permissions, the checkout, the payments. I think what's really important is to take a look at the shipping and delivery. There's a lot of settings in there. In fact, so many that we're currently working on our own course just to cover this. It's easy to get it wrong, but there's also, if you do it right, there's like easy way to avoid all the troubles. So shipping and delivery, definitely really important to read up on this. Taxes and duties. I mean, this is actually really new now, and that's also where just Shopify has a major lead, is that they now do import taxes and all of this. So what a fantastic way. And then when you're just launching, let's say you're launching an online store, then domain is going to be really important. This is just where you connect your custom domain. For the people new to the online world, domain is for example just like your, in our case, hazel.studio or the google.com. That's your domain, so that's what your customer basically would put into the browser to actually find you. Yeah, there's a lot to explore there. Take a look. It might look a little daunting at first, but I always recommend click around. You can't do anything wrong, especially if your store isn't live yet. Just play around with it. There's a lot to learn. We also have like a lot of follow-up content that's about to happen. But today I mostly want to talk about the online store. This is where we notice that most people get stuck really quickly. And on purpose, I took a look at this before. You can see there's an update to the Dawn. And this is something I wanted to highlight on purpose, because when we talk about themes or design in general, it's always like people go nuts on design first. It's really easy to get lost in this and think, I bring like this, I would say the brick and mortar mindset into building an online store, which is let's get it perfect first, let's decorate it, let's have it like fully decked out, and then we're gonna launch it. With the online stores, we want to have something simple first. We want to have something, a foundation you as a brand can grow into. And it's really easy to get lost in picking the perfect theme, maybe finding some custom developers and this and that, just to realize it's a lot to then maintain. And usually I always recommend like start with something very simple. Start with something from the Shopify store. So they have their own theme store. And if you, for example, click on add theme, if you don't have anything installed right here, I think it should be up here, but there should be an add theme button. And then it always says visit the theme store. And this is the place I always recommend you guys to get the theme from. There are third-party services out there, like the theme forests of the world. We worked with them before. I would describe them as, it's really easy if you want this one feature set. Most of them support it. The problem is once you want to change just like one thing, maybe just for the mobile view, maybe just on like a banner, and then the entire theme breaks. It's built by developers with like no approval process. They're offering, there's like these themes saying that we have like building blocks and you can build anything with it. In reality, we realized you can't build like anything with it. It's like it's not really working really well. And then why choose them when Shopify now has their own themes? And this is something you can just take a look at. In the beginning, always recommend go with a free theme. You can filter here on the left. They have great free themes. And the ones that are really easy to customize is the Dawn. And if you've been around for a little longer, Dawn had like a bad stigma to it. It was like the basic theme. Everyone was always able to, like you saw a store and you knew, they're using the Dawn theme. It was like kind of a bad thing. Now with Shopify's updates in like the last 1.5, maybe 2 years, Dawn has become such a versatile theme. And it's developers like us, or even just like branding agencies, they always want to work with the Dawn theme because it just lets you do so much more. It's usually a really good base to either get a store that just looks like this, and you can always view the demo store. So it's a very clean and minimalistic looking store, but what's the beauty about this is you can add code. Yeah, you can add code, you can edit CSS, and you can just basically make it look like anything. So this is always a safe bet. Use the Dawn theme. Another one that I really like, let's see if we can go back to the themes. Again, I would usually go with the free ones. If you find a paid ones you really like if you find a paid ones where you think, hey, this is exactly the style I want to go with, definitely go with the paid one. What you should keep in mind, what's like the least customizable in all of these themes is the collection page. So if we take a look at the Sense theme, then take a look at these pages. Take a look at, do I like the collection cards? And do I like the product page? Because these are the things where Shopify doesn't allow you to change so much. They've gotten better, but these are usually the ones where you say, okay, I can change the homepage. But then when clients approach us saying, oh, you know what, can we change the product page? Then this could potentially mean we need to actually swap out the theme or just heavily custom coded, which usually is never the best choice just because price and time wise. So this is always a safe bet. Go with the free theme and really take a look at, do I like the product page? Do I like how it feels? You can always, at the very top, you can flip to the mobile view. It's really important, just check out the mobile view. But yeah, theme selection, go with the Shopify theme. And this also buys you the benefit that I wanted to talk about earlier. And I hope this tab switch just worked. What's really important is if you buy from a third-party platform, and whenever, let's say, the developers fix a bug in the theme, you don't get automatic updates. So for example, they might fix it, and for everyone who purchases in the future, or you might actually be able to re-download it, but then you have to re-upload it, then you have to re-customize it just to get a bug fix. And what's nice with the new pipeline that Shopify has is if you have one of their themes, then developers have to actually push the updates to Shopify, and then you get a message like this saying Dawn version 11.0 is available. And then you can just, I think it's going to add it as a duplicate. and then you can basically just get the updated version. It's going to have all of your changes, and then you publish it, and it's going to look the exact same way. So this is just future-proofing it. They're working on especially the Dawn theme a lot. It gets a lot of changes. It's so versatile. I am actually going to show you how easy it is to use. So this is something we started building for a demo workshop. And you can see now, it's like with the 2.0 themes, and that's something, if you're rather new to all of this, there's like there's the Shopify 1.0 themes and the 2.0 themes. Nowadays, we talk less about 2.0 because everything that's now on the Shopify platform itself on their own theme store is by default 2.0. But if you're buying from a third-party platform, always ask the developer or check the description, is it a 2.0 theme? Because what it allows you to do now is here in the site, if you're in the customizer, you can basically have, you can go nuts in customization. You can just say, I want a collection list. I want to just add certain things. I want to, let's say I'm not going to do anything. Let's do image with text. Let's add an image with text. And you can just go nuts in the customization without actually breaking any of the theme code. Because now every section is a standalone section. It's like more on the technical side. How it was before, it was just like one blurb of code. So like you edited something and it would just get added to the theme, and it got added to the theme, and then it's just like a long list of code, and things eventually broke. And what they're doing now is they have a theme design, or a page design is basically just a collection of all of these standalone items. So now you can, if you like this page, you can then now say, all right, let's take a look at the page. I want to create a default page. And this is, if this was too fast, like at the very top, you can just navigate your entire store. You can either click on your actual menu and it's going to bring you there, or you just go here, you can browse, select your page. Let's create the default page. And let's say you want to add a page. For example, in our case, we have a t-shirt brand, and now we want to have an About Us page. You can now easily, and that's only the 2.0 themes, you can easily create a new template. You can just say, create a new template. We're going to call it About. It's going to be a page, and we're going to copy it. This is, like it says, based on. So if you already have a design you really like or you want to mimic, you can just make it based on default page. We create a template, and now we can customize this. Now we're in the About page, and now we can customize all of this on the page. I'm gonna, for example, let's add a rich text. This is our About Us page. We save it, and now if you toggle back to the default page, it obviously has a different layout. So now all we have to do, you go back, you exit the customizer, you go in pages, and the pages belong to your online store. So everything, if you think about it thematically, everything that belongs to your online store always lives under the sales channel online store. So pages are only here. Well, we already have a About Us. So now on the right side, you can see the theme template. Now we just toggle it to be About. And now the About Us page, if we link it to the menu, will then actually just show the About template. And this is something that they weren't able to do before. Before it was just like one mess of, oh, this needs to do this needs to do that. You have like one page template. Everything needs to be customized in code. Now with the 2.0, duplicate page, design the page, assign the page, or assign the layout to a page, and then you just link the page to the menu. If you want to know where to do this, you see the navigation down here. Did we save? We saved our changes. We go to the navigation. We have the main menu. We add an item. We call it About Us. It's even already saying or recommending About Us. And then we can basically link anything. You can also link an outside link. Like even if you don't see it here, we can technically link to just google.com. And it's going to recommend it here. It's like a thing people usually don't know. But we just select page, About Us, add, we save the menu. We can still change. Let's say we want to have it as the first item in the menu. And now we want to preview our store. And just as a shortcut, I'm going to click on the eye. And now we see the About Us here. We click on it, and we have our own template. So this is something, once you get really used to this, it's really, really quick just to make edits to your store. It's something where if you find a nice design you want to copy, or if you, for example, you have a designer build you one-page layout, you can now use new pages based on this one layout, and you don't have to start from scratch. You don't have to go back to the developers, ask them, oh, can you also now design this page? So this is something that made it much faster to move. It's very cost effective, and this is like one of the reasons where we say go with the 2.0 theme, go with the theme supported by Shopify. It's just incredible. They're getting better by the day. We have a new update. We recently had the 10.0 update. Now they shipped the 11 update. It's just very convenient. And then because we had someone say earlier, obviously we need the apps and integrations. Everything you need beyond what the basic theme supports, you can find in the apps. And there's a ton of them. We're like working on like a huge video and a huge list also on like our favorite apps for like the things you need the most. What I usually would recommend if you're just getting started, everyone should have a newsletter integration. That depends on your service. So usually, for example, if you use MailChimp or ActiveCampaign, they then have their own apps, and you want to just connect, for example, the MailChimp app, add your token usually, or sign in with MailChimp, and then it's just going to do the connection for you. So newsletter, usually everyone should have. Product reviews, you see it's already recommended. Product reviews is usually something that's really nice to have. And then beyond that, everyone should have the Facebook pixel. If you're thinking about doing Facebook marketing, get a Facebook pixel installed, get the Google Analytics installed. And with that, you should be pretty much set up to just have like something launch ready, or that's like looks professional. I'm gonna switch back again. So like if you have an app installed, you can then go in your online store. You click customize. Customize always brings you here. And then you have down here the app embeds, and then once you have an app installed, you will actually find the app in here, and then usually you can also drag them around and move them wherever you want them to have. I'm gonna exit it. So now let's talk about the good stuff. Let's talk about how do you actually add products, what should you do with the products, and also like some tips like how to optimize them for SEO. Again, everything there's like heavy topics. I don't wanna overwhelm you guys. Also, let me know in the comments if I'm moving way too fast. It's like I'm getting strangely excited about just walking you guys through the dashboard. So let me know if I'm moving too fast. But yeah, for the products, we already have one. It's if you're migrating to Shopify, and for example you're working with a freelancer, maybe you want to do it yourself, there is an export and import option. So if you, for example, you already have a product list that you want to use, sometimes it can be faster. Like we recently had a client that had 70,000 products, and they asked us if they were actually starting to do that manually. The first thing we told them is like, it's not worth it. Like, let's write some code, let's have an actually export, and then get it into importable format, upload it, and then everything will just show up. So if you already have products, ask a developer first, or maybe your team, just to see, is there something we can import? Because Shopify is a very simple interface and a very simple template just to import full-on products with the SKUs, with the images and all of this. But let's say we're starting fresh, we want to add something to it. You can manage either product by clicking, or you can just add a product here. In terms of best practices, I would say for a product, always keep the title really short. I'm gonna show you a trick. Like, let's say we're gonna sell pants. Here the status, if you keep this on active and you hit save, it's automatically gonna publish to your store. So for now, I'm just gonna say it's draft. So I can save it, I can make edits to it. Description. For what I meant to say for the titles, like keep it as short as possible and keep it very descriptive. We noticed that especially newcomer stores or like first-time owners, they want to be very verbose in their titles, but it gets to the point where like your visitors don't necessarily read. Like nowadays we just want to browse, we just want to have like a really nice first impression. So keep the titles very short, only say what's really necessary, put the rest in the description, and then there's a new feature I'm going to show you in a second how you can just make it like or organize it a little bit better. But yeah, we got the title, we can have a description. This is really good now. It's like now there's an AI tool that's very new where we can generate text. Let's say we need denim jeans, tone of expert. I wouldn't recommend using it to the point where it's actually going to be your final product description. But this is you, if you don't have anything, like you can just have with this little button, you can have AI generate a rough text for you. I think what's even more important to see is the length of the text. So another thing we see a lot with newcomers is you just want to, you love your products obviously, so you just want to over explain. It's really easy to over explain. Just keep it, always tell a story. That's like something we always want to say. Like tell a story, be user friendly, like don't overwhelm your customers. All right, you have nice pants, like show images, put everything you can in images. Don't just overwhelm people with a lot of text. So this is a good length for a product description. If we have images, we can just upload them here. Interesting to note, there's an add from URL, and this is if you already have images somewhere, or maybe you're working with a distributor, maybe you're drop shipping and they already have, for dropshipping you probably have an integration, but if you're just importing a product, then you can just paste the URL and then Shopify does the grabbing of the image for you. So in this case, you don't have to then go in, download the image, reformat the image, change the image title, and then upload again. Just paste the URL and they're gonna do the grabbing for you. And that's also why the import is really nice, because if you have an importable format, you don't actually have to download the images. You just have the hosted URLs and then Shopify automatically grabs them. So images, pretty much self-explanatory. One note I wanna make on the image point, it's nowadays with SEO, that's the search engine optimization for Google, if you want to rank really high, what they started doing now is they're not just looking at like the meta tags and the keywords how it used to be. Now they're also looking at page speed and general usability. So if you have customers that go to your site, never let them finish loading and navigate out of it, it's actually going to hurt your ranking. And an easy way to just slow down your site is by having huge product images. And if you, for example, working with a photographer, they might send you the images. You might have seen like huge files, like 11 megabytes, for example, as files, and also PNG sometimes. So what you want to do is, I would usually say, always use the format WEBP, WebP. That's a new JPEG format or a JPEG-esque format. It loads much quicker, and it's a compressed version. So don't do the PNGs, do a WebP. And there's an easy trick. If you want to just format, let's say you have the PNGs, don't go back to your designer. You can just Google for, let's say PNG to WebP. You can see there's the cloud convert, and then you can just select a file and it does the conversion for you. You export it and you're already done. Like, it's very convenient and it's an easy way to just save load time, optimize for SEO. So this is what we always say. If you get this wrong, for example, and we work sometimes with clients that already have hundreds of products with wrong images, it's gonna take a while to actually get them optimized. And there are apps out there that do a pretty decent job. But again, that's like a little bit more on the advanced side. I'm not gonna bore you with that right now. But yeah, images really important. Don't have them too big. There's always, never have them larger if they're horizontal. Never have them larger than full HD. That's 1080 or 1920 by 1080. It's like no one's using a larger device than that. So this is like the absolute maximum you need. And yeah, and then let's move on. You can see I can talk a lot on just the images. So this is where we're gonna have like additional courses just talking through all of this stuff. Pricing, pretty self-explanatory. You can have the price and the compare at. It's like this would be if you have a discount, for example, running, then you have your price of $10 and it was compare at would be 15, like a $4 discount, or what did I say, 10 or 11. $4 to $5 discount. Cost per item, really important for you to track. If you know your cost per item, let's say we have our pants, we're selling them for $39. We know manufacturing and everything costs us 10. This is something you want to track here, because then your analytics, your export, everything would then actually show what's the profit on them. SKU if you have, barcode if you have, really important. I think someone in the comments said, Urban Indigo was saying you have POS and Shopify and the online. Actually, this is really important for you, because if you have the hardware, you can, with the barcode, just scan it. The product will show automatically, and then you don't have to do any of the typing in the hardware. So yeah, tracking quantity is something, obviously it sounds self-explanatory, but you can also disable it. So if you say we have a downloadable PDF, for example, or just something you never run out of stock, you don't have to track quantity. And if you are tracking quantity, there's this magic button, and this is also really important for my wholesalers out there. And this just means you can also sell when it's out of stock, and it's not going to disable the buy buttons. Usually whenever, this is like default behavior by the theme, whenever there's nothing in stock, it's just going to say out of stock and people can't actually purchase. This is an easy button. You click it once and actually people can still continue to purchase even though you don't have anything on hand right now. And then location, this is what I briefly talked about earlier. You can have multiple locations. For example, if you have multiple warehouses, if you're not necessarily shipping the same items, let's say you have the brick and mortar and the online store, but you don't want to have the online inventory mixed in with the brick and mortar ones, then this is, you would just add a new inventory location, and then in here you can just say, all right, shop location, that's the default name. You can just modify your inventory in here, but there's also an inventory tab on the left that looks much nicer. Shipping, we're also working on a standalone shipping course. Usually what I always want to say is when you set up your products, and if you get the weight right, Shopify basically does all of the shipping setting for you. So this is usually just worth investing in, just like weighing your products, especially with packaging, because then you can either say you have your own shipping settings and you can have your own shipping rates, or you can, based on weight, you can have a carrier like USPS calculate it for you, and then you don't have to worry about the shipping rate. You obviously, different zones may vary, but if you're just selling, as like an easy example, to the US, or in the US, you just say, hey, this is my product, it weighs this much, please calculate at checkout the weight of everything, and then they're actually going to propose your own shipping rate. Super fascinating setting. It's so overlooked, and it's so easy to overlook, and that's like one of the things I always wonder is like, why is no one talking about this? I have a question for Urban Indigo. Is Shopify shipping better than ShipStation or Pirate Ship? It's Shopify doesn't have their own shipping. They always integrate with someone. So you can have, like a friend of ours is using ShipStation a lot. That's, I think, her go-to favorite now. She went through a couple, but she likes ShipStation. It's you can connect your own carrier. So you can have Shopify do everything but the shipping, and then they would just forward the order and they do the fulfillment for you. That's also in the settings. You can connect your own shipping. But Shopify itself, I mean, they would then partner with USPS to have the shipping, but they don't have like their own service. I think they're working on, or they were partnering with UPS to do some of it, but I don't think they have it publicly out yet. And then just to finish up quickly, it's like, oh my God, it's so much. I think what's really important here is like you can have custom information, all right? That's like, it's a topic on its own, but the variance is something I wanted to mention. We see this a lot. It's like people just create duplicate products and say, oh, I have pants, and then I have blue pants, and then I have black pants, and then I have like medium-sized pants. Everything can be a variant. You can just say the size, like it says, size is medium, all right? And we have to actually spell it. Size is medium, and then you can see how many we have on stock. But you can also say we have a color too, and black is the one we want to go for. So now you can have the same product in different variations, in different swatches, and then you can have the inventory tracked on. If we add a large to this as well, then we would have now a variant for the medium in black and the large in black. And then obviously once we add a color, we're gonna have a medium in blue, for example, and a large in blue. So this is an easy way just to have it neatly organized. You have one product, it's your pants, put all the variants in there, don't have the duplicate products, because this makes inventory super simple. You can now have a variant image. You can have the main media, that's gonna be this one. And then you can have an image per variant. And this is, you've probably seen this before. You're on a live store, you either select a variant or you click on an image, and it's automatically gonna select your variant. And that's because you've now clicked on a variant image. So this is easy trick. It's you do it once, it's set up, if you set it up correctly, this is available, quantity, the SKUs, the barcodes, you set it up once, you can also import this. It's going to do so much heavy lifting for you, and it's basically going to be infinitely scalable. status. I'm just gonna quickly cover the right. It's I'm seeing the chat right now. Let me just read the chat for quick. Can I have shipping costs based on total order dollar amount? I'm actually gonna, let's talk about shipping in a second. Yes, you can. And I've been able to figure out the variance. Yeah, let me show you the variance for a second. It's, for this, we need to publish the product first. Do an empty option. Oh, material. Actually, I can show you, I think we have a variant for our t-shirt. Yeah, we have 9 variants for the t-shirt. So this is something we created in another training. We have, you can see the t-shirt, that's the media. We have a small, is that the t-shirt? I think that's the image of our tote bag. We have a small, medium, large, but we also have the colors, like we just talked about, the black, white, and green. So now we can have the small and black. This is how we would set it up. This is our price. We can change the pricing just for this variant. We can have availability. Obviously, the inventory will change. So this is how it then looks when you have multiple options. Now, if you go to the store, let's see what we have set up in the store. If you go to the store, you now have automatically these options to toggle through. And this is what I meant before. So like this is because we're not allowing to sell when we're out of stock. People would just see basically this interface. Like, okay, medium, they don't have medium and black. But we do have almost all the colors except for green and small. So this is now based on variants. And now someone purchases, for example, the small in black. I'm gonna add it to cart, and then obviously I'm not gonna check out right now, but this is now automatically being subtracted from what you have set up for the variant on the variant level. And then if we had a variant image, and I have the images for this right now, then we would basically see a gallery down here with the t-shirt in black, and then you were to click it, and then it would automatically either select this, or if we were to select the S in black, then it would just show the variant image. So it's very neat just getting this set up correctly. It's gonna save you a lot of work. It's gonna make everything, the maintenance of it, much easier. The reporting is gonna be cleaner. That's also something once you start scaling, or like you were saying, if you already have a brick and mortar store, it's just a lot of work to maintain. So and it can get really messy once you have online reporting there as well. So this is gonna make it super clean. We always take a lot of pride in our clean setups. It's a lot of fun for us, but obviously like we've seen how it can look when you don't have it set up correctly, and it can be painful. Just checking the chat for quick, and then I'm gonna show the shipping for Theo. All of my products are custom made. So Google doesn't, I know they say they require a GTIN. I remember we changed this not too long ago for a client of ours. They don't require it. I know there's like a way to go around this. We probably want to follow up with an email afterwards. Like I can't think of it right now, but I know there was a way for us to get around this and not require us. And it was like a similar setup, like you had custom products. Can a customer see the different color photos? Yes. Like usually if you have, let me even see if we just add something. I'm gonna add, like this is an unrelated picture right now, but just so we can see something. Let's see if it shows up. Let's add one. I'm gonna add another one. It may take a little while until Shopify uploaded the images, but let's see. Potentially we also, that's like another thing. You can customize the way the variants are showing up. So if you go back into customizer, we go in the products, default product. Where's the product? Then we have the desktop media. So this is the large image that's usually showing. I don't know what's showing not right now. Let's see. And then we should have a variant image down there, variant picker, add block, product information. All right, let me just read through this. There's mobile layout, hide thumbnails. Actually, no. Show thumbnails on mobile. Did we switch? No. Sounds like their preview is broken right now. It's like this says, usually there should be an image in here. Let me see if their updated version has this. Customize, let's check out our products. Still not showing anything. Yeah, usually there should be a picture in here right now where you would see the image, the actual product image, and then you would see for the variants, you would then actually see all the variant images underneath. And with these, you can either click them, and then like I said before, the variant's automatically gonna be selected, or you can also just say, I'm gonna select this and that variant, and then the variant image is actually gonna show instead of like the large image that we had before. You couldn't get the color photo to show with the correct color button. Make sure they're assigned correctly on the product level, on the variant level. All right, I'm gonna go back to the shipping settings for quick, because those are gonna be important. I think we had Theo just talk about if you can say a shipping rate based on total order and dollar amount. All right, you're gonna love this one. In the shipping settings, shipping and delivery, this is like what Shopify starts you with. And I'm not gonna go into the details, there's like a lot to know. But if you click in this, you have now the option to create a zone or just manage a zone. And for example, let's say you want the $4.90 shipping, but you wanna change like the properties of it, then you can basically now say based on price, let's say someone purchases for a minimum of $150 and a maximum of $250, they will now get the $4.90 rate. Or, and I think this is more important, the free one is we have it set right now, it's like based on order price. It's like everyone who purchases for at least $50 gets free shipping. And this is, you can also do it based on weight, but most important, I think, is gonna be based on price, especially for the free tier, if you wanna offer free shipping. And then you can create zones, manage location. Like this is where I meant, like it's gonna be interesting, especially if you're a larger store. You can do a lot of things, a lot of customization, but the most important thing is gonna be the basic rate, free shipping. If you're more into the drop shipping, or in general, it's like if you're more selling high volume, there is this one trick, and you've probably seen other brands do this before, and it gets you around all these like hard settings, is you just basically start and say shipping is for free for everyone, and if you just put it into your products. Like if you're selling let's say that you're selling a t-shirt, and just mark up the t-shirt by your shipping price, your average shipping price, and then the conversions are really good when people see it's free shipping, even though they're technically paying for it since it's in the markup. But we noticed, like, we increase prices. For example, it's $250 a shirt. Usually $250 is not a price, depending obviously how heavy and how much your product is. But if you can have regular shipping rates, people just really like seeing free shipping on everything. And because it feels like you're paying obviously for the product. All right, that's fine. I'd rather pay more for the product. But then you probably also know from services like Uber Eats or something, whenever they want to then hit you with a service fee, that's when you as a customer kind of start gonna go like, I like paying for my food, but I don't want to pay for the service fee. But if the food was more expensive and you have zero service fee, it kind of feels like you won something. So you can dodge a lot of the shipping if you just say, hey, especially like the calculation, I'm just going to mark up my products a little bit and have free shipping on entire orders. Obviously, it doesn't work for everything, but most of the brands are doing it, or especially once you have like a tier, after like an order amount of $100, you get free shipping. It does wonders. It's also, we noticed that there's a lot of visitors that just really want to reach that amount if they're checking out with, and that's a huge range, sometimes even with $60, and they see something they're on the fence about, they just want to hit the tier. And we made a lot of conversions just by basically gamifying the process of get the free shipping. It just feels good. There's also apps that basically track how close you're getting to like a new upgrade. But again, you don't need this to launch. This is definitely something that gets you really far. I think this is also like the most important thing I wanted to talk about. There's quickly the analytics. really self-explanatory. You can toggle the time frame, and then you can basically see your reports down here. This is more on the advanced side if you just want to have sessions by refer, sessions over time. It's if you just want to get in-depth analytics that's not coming from Google Analytics. Again, always recommend you guys install Google Analytics. They have a much more advanced view. And then the live view is just interesting if you have high volume. You see where in the world people are clicking right now, and it's just fun to watch sometimes. Then with marketing, there's now, in the beginning, you don't really need it. There's like easy ways now to do abandoned cart, for example, automations, or abandoned checkout automation. That means someone started the checkout process, then just switched tab, killed the tab, whatever, never then finished the checkout. And then Shopify now lets you automatically schedule emails through it. I'm not super excited about this because we all done this before, but through our own email automations outside of Shopify. Still to this day, I don't know many that actually use them. We have seen a lot of bugs when people tried it. So I keep recommending marketing. You probably don't need it too much. I would still go by doing probably an active campaign, Klaviyo, MailChimp automation, connect your email, tag it. You can also have so much more control with tagging. And yeah, it's like it's not super interesting, the marketing part right now. Discounts probably interesting. And this is just basically if you want to have an offer code, if you want to have with your email, you say, hey, we run a special promotion, you create a code there. I think what's important here is you can have now like multiple settings, like a free shipping discount even. But I think what's really important is you can just specify how often someone can use it. And this is down here. People often just like to oversee this. You can just say, all right, this either on total can only be used like 10 times. If you run a promotion like this, we say only 10 available, or you can just say it can only be used once per customer. Important setting, don't skip this, save it, give it any name. You don't have to, you can generate one, but you can basically name it anything and save it, and then people get whatever you set in here. And that's basically all there is to the discounts. So yeah, there's a lot to discover. It's a lot of fun. I always recommend play around with it, try out new themes, maybe give the Dawn theme a try, give one of the free themes a try. There's another thing that we're doing right now, and I would love to get you guys' thoughts on this. It's like we're currently full on agency, but we noticed like there's more demand for training like this, and there's so many, like you notice you open one tab and then you can talk hours about just shipping settings for the US, import taxes. And we haven't even spoken about growth. We haven't even spoken about conversion optimizations, the SEO tools, and like all of that. And it can be overwhelming at first, but it doesn't have to be if you just have like a guide that walks you through this. So what we're doing right now is and this is like a teaser. It's not live yet, but we're actually building a platform where we want to teach you everything. And I want to get you guys' thoughts on this. I obviously also want to give you guys like a head start and join our waitlist. But we basically want to give you all the tools you need to build, run, and scale your stores. Like you can design it yourself. You should, like we say, it's like you shouldn't need freelancers in the future, at least for the basics. That obviously hurts our business because that's what we're doing for a living. But you don't need all of that. This is what we're launching with. We're recording the introduction to Shopify course right now. Product subscriptions are going to be super good. Shipping and taxes. The SEO for Shopify, newsletter integrations, hiring freelancers is one of my passions. I'm super excited about filming that course, just giving you guys all the tools when you should hire someone, how do you how to get the best quality, how do you also vet them. It's like kind of just like how can I get the best bang or most bang for the buck whenever I have to hire someone. Migrating to Shopify if you're coming from a different platform. POS, we have our own training. That's going to be super good. And obviously, this is going to be organic. It's like every month now we're going to add to this. Every time we hear from you guys, hey, I need more training on this, we're going to create a new course and have this monster grow, basically. So I'm going to send you afterwards, I'm going to send you a list of all of this and want to get you guys' thoughts on the landing page. I want to hear what you guys need help with. And yeah, I have like a great discount for you. So we're thinking about pricing at $99 a month. And if someone wants to buy the annual subscription, it's going to be only 10 months. But we're going to have it discounted for everyone who's joining the training to $39 a month. You can actually purchase it right now. Like this is, again, just a landing page. It's not live, but you're going to have the option to then just join the waitlist if you're interested in something like this. We're going to have a free community. We're talking about all of this. We're going to do more live training. And then once we're ready to launch, potentially next week, then obviously you will get your discount and you can you can join us and have fun with all of this, and obviously be an active member, contribute as much as you want to. And yeah, I'm going to send more info on this with an email. If you guys don't have any other questions, I would wish you a good day. And yeah, feel free to stick around on our YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram if you're interested. And yeah, we're going to have some good things to share in the future. So thank you everyone for stopping by. And obviously, if you have questions, that was a good time to ask them. I'm going to stick around for 5 more minutes just to also read and see if I missed anything. Yeah, Urban Indigo, and I'm seeing your message. You're doing mainly POS. What service were you using before? It's like, are you, from what POS service are you switching? Or are you using Shopify's POS? Theo, you're really gonna like the new training. It's gonna be, we're gonna have like a design primer as well. It's gonna be good. Yeah, it's a ton of fun. Shopify is by far the easiest platform to manage, easiest platform to scale. It's gonna be good. All right, perfect, guys. Thank you so much, and I see you guys around. Bye bye.